preparing to go live, and then I think I got to mute.
Let me close my door just so some noise. I don't want to.
Yep.
My son's got a friend over, and they get a little loud sometimes. You know. All right.
It's loading onto YouTube.
Let me close.
All right. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, real good.
All right. Hey, you guys, this is Gary Morris. I'm here with Dan Payton, Dan Layton of Easy Homes University. And this is another day where we're just going to kind of check in and see how things are going with everyone. We've grown subscribers, we've grown members, we've had another 10 new partners that came into Easy Homes University over the past 2 weeks, and more to come. And we're just super excited as we've seen more people want to get into this market. So we're just having a casual conversation today. So there's a couple things just for housekeeping rules. If you are watching this live and you have any questions pertaining to Easy Homes University or what's, some of the things that we're doing, we'd love to hear some of that, and just know what you guys have on your mind as we're kind of navigating through all the different things as COVID-19 restrictions seem to lift and all that good stuff. But other than that, we're just here to enjoy the conversation, give you guys some updates on some really cool deals that have transpired and a bunch of other things. So without further ado, Dan Layton, Dan Payton, how you guys doing?
Doing great.
Yeah, doing really good.
No mask.
No mask, that's right. You can breathe. So we're all three of us are in Michigan, and I think we've had something like triple the amount of restrictions from other Midwest states. So it's been a slow rollout for us, and so things have really begun to pick up over time. But in terms of the mobile home market, the beauty of what you guys do is that it's all across the United States. So how do you guys see people in this market right now, COVID-19? We've talked about this in the past. Now that we're kind of getting through a lot of the heavy stuff and we're coming out on the other side, how has this market fared during this crisis?
Well, I think it's it's unprecedented. We've kind of navigated our way through it. There has been an impact, to us not being able to go out for a time there and look at homes, and we had to get creative and do FaceTimes and make decisions on photos. But we see an uptick. I see an uptick in our leads, the interest. Obviously, people partnering and coming on board, joining EZU is a good sign. So I think right now, the middle of June going forward, I think, and I think Dan probably would agree that we're seeing kind of a hockey stick starting to slowly, gradually start to go up. So yeah, we're encouraged.
Yeah, it definitely tapered down, April and May, and there was some uneasiness out there, and people weren't excited maybe about inviting someone like us into their home to inspect their home, and there was some, they were guarding themselves, which makes perfect sense. But we still continue to do business during the pandemic, just at a slower pace. But I agree with Dan Layton. We're starting to see, even today, it just felt like there was more activity. And what we're in the middle of June here, so yeah, I feel a surge coming.
Yeah. Now, proportionately, now, this isn't going to play a role for a long time, but this is helpful, pandemic or not. On average, how many homes do you guys actually have to go visit?
That's a good question. We do a lot of long distance deals, so we don't visit those personally. We usually try to, we have somebody, maybe another member of our team, what we would call a partner, EZU partner. They can go out and look at homes for us. We've got a couple of them doing that for us right now. But if they're local here in our basically our neighborhood is Michigan, Indiana, Ohio. Yeah, we'll go out and look at those homes. But we a lot of times with technology, we can get our sellers to send us photos of their homes,
Sure.
9 times out of 10, and we can kind of do at least a first glance at it just through the internet,
Yeah.
through email.
Yep.
Yeah, that's and that's not something that stick-built homes. A lot of times, there's so many different variables, from the foundation up that you just don't have here. So that helps navigate some of that territory where you can even with stick-built homes, you can have an inspector go in, but it's the whole process is pretty complex. So it's a lot different than what we have in this market opposed to some of the other ones that exist. So.
Yep.
Well, okay. Well, let's talk a little bit about, looking back at May and maybe the first 2 weeks of June, some of the good deals that you guys have scored. If either one of you guys or both of you guys want to maybe share a story of maybe a unique home or a unique margin that you came across and what that looked like.
Yeah, go ahead, Dan.
All right. Well, I had a good, some good outcomes. Actually 2 homes I'll speak quickly on. One was a 91 single wide that we bought down in Ypsilanti. Elderly man was needed to get out of his home, and some friends of his, some neighbors, were helping him get out. And I came in and bought the home for $300. You got to understand, this was a mess inside. The guy, never cleaned, and so and it was kind of a dicey deal because even for $300, I didn't know when he was going to get out, who was going to do all the cleaning, how it was going to happen. So I actually had to tie in with a dumpster trailer company that we deal with and coordinate it. And I actually went down with my gloves, boots, and helped get the people out and help them out because I knew that home was gonna make us some good hay. So, and just today, matter of fact, I sent out the sales agreement to a new buyer, and he signed it at $7,500. So we have a 300. Well, actually $350. I paid $50 for these people who helped out to buy them lunch because they spent 3 or 4 hours just out of their kindness, just helping out this old gentleman. And
Wow.
that one was a good outcome. Another one was I bought a.
So wait, before you go on to that one, you paid $350 for the home total,
$350. Yep.
and then he sold it for, you sold it for how much?
$7,500.
$7,500.
And how long ago did you clean out the home and pay it off, and take full possession?
I cleaned it out on Monday, and today is Wednesday, so I was just cleaning up my photos, and that's like a day and a half.
Wow.
And we got it, and that's. But I knew what I was stepping into because after you do 1,600 deals with Dan and I know I can smell a good deal through all the the debris, the dust, the mildew, whatever else is there. And matter of fact, one of the pictures I took of the the hot water heater, I pulled back and there was a nest of a mouse nest on the top of just a bunch of pink insulation, and everybody chuckled because there it is. It's as obvious as a nose on your face, and but that the guy never went back there, and he had no idea. But it makes for some fun comments when we review homes, and that one we got a little chuckle on.
So basically, you had made a comment when we were reviewing that home on Monday, Dan, or Tuesday, that the door was worth more than the than the 350. So basically, we bought a door for 350, and they threw in the home.
Yeah, that was one of the things we said, that the door was worth more than the entire purchase price. And we had a lot of fun. We went when we're on EZU in the mornings, and that one was
what was the margin on that one?
Well, that would have been roughly $7,200 roughly.
Okay.
That was a really good outcome.
So, question: Why was he willing to sell it for so low? People are going to hear that and say you took advantage of some old man.
Well, the dealio was that the park really doesn't at this point wasn't going to buy homes. They just,
They
they're
didn't want,
not interested. They would they have taken the home if he would have traded it in or just given it to him? Possibly. But the neighbor resident who had been helping them and getting them food, she knew this thing was a pigsty, and and it was. And at that point, it was the cost to get him out of there was higher than waiting for a higher bid from somebody or trying to retail it, because dealers have a license to execute, and Dan and I have that. So we went in and I asked them, what do you want? I never named the price. They did. And they said, boy, could we get like $300? And I said, I'd do it. So they named their price and I executed on their wishes.
right. And so just for clarity here, here's this guy, he has a home in a park. He's stuck with lot rent perpetually unless he can sell it. The problem with selling at retail is the house is a pigsty. So first of all, you have to figure out, how do you get him out of it? Where does he go in the interim period? Who's going to go in there and clean it up? Who's going to paint it? Who's going to redo all that? You're talking thousands of dollars of investment just to make it presentable for a possible retail buyer. Then option number 2 is sell it to the park. The park doesn't want it. So the best option he has there is give it to them. But who knows that process? How long is that going to take? And
Right.
I mean, he's not going to get anything for it. So option number 3 is to find somebody who can actually go in, as you said, execute on it, clean it out, gut it, sell it to another buyer, and pull it out of the park. And everybody's hands are done, and nobody's out anything.
Right.
Yeah. And I think one of the key things too, Gary, is, we signed an agreement, a purchase agreement, which he could show with the help of the lady, his neighbor, that it was sold, because he was in line to get some, like a senior apartment, which is,
Subsidized.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
subsidized. You're in a queue. And I knew that going in. And when, they want to know what your place is sold, you're not tied to the lease. And that executed purchase agreement gave him, gave them the confidence that it was done, and he got to move forward. So, really, it was a win. It was a really big win-win for everybody, because he got to go someplace very safe,
Clean.
that's gonna take care of him, clean, 3 square meals. I
Yeah.
mean, the bed that he lived on was unbelievable. I mean, they threw it out in a 30-yard dumpster, and there was just, you wouldn't want anybody to live like that. So he really prospered in where he's at.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of dealers that would have done that deal just because they can't see past the situation, they can't see past the filth, and they just can't. They don't want to be patient, because that deal was 3 months in the making, and I just sat back and I said, listen, if you need help getting them out, I'll jump down, and I did, and we got it taken care of, and I coordinated the dumpster. And that wasn't just because I wanted to make money. It's just also because I knew that this guy needed help, just like that lady did. And sometimes what they say, many hands make light work. So I'm a big guy. I got 2 healthy hands and legs, and I just decided, because in a matter of making this guy get him to his new place and not have to worry about something that he might have had to have demoed if the park didn't want it. That would cost him thousands. So it was a unique deal.
Yep. No, that makes sense. That makes complete sense. And another part of that is like your income, like his subsidized housing is based on his income. So he's got restrictions there in terms of how much he's going to make on a piece of real estate that could affect the outcome of the thing that he has lined up if it's based on your income. So
Yeah, that's true.
and this goes back to what you guys have talked about so many times in the past, and that's going over situations. Situations are so unique, they're so vast, and you're meeting the need of the market at a place that's different from other people. And so there's always going to be people out there that just want to move. They don't want to deal with it. They want to get out of the house. It's not, they don't want to list it. They don't want to sell it to the park. They can't sell it to the park. And they just need the house gone. In that situation, situation or circumstance happens all the time. So that's just another good reminder. Any other stories you guys want to share on a good deal? I mean, that's a 350 and 70.
Yeah, I've
70K.
got one that's a little bit more on the other side of the spectrum, but a pretty good outcome. This was a home, a later model home, double wide in a park here in Michigan, in Wixom, Michigan. And it was a situation where the buyer, or the seller rather, had already bought his new home and had moved into that new home back in December, January of this year. So he was sort of sitting on this double wide that he couldn't get rid of. The park was lowballing him. He still owed $18,000 on the note to the bank. We ended up, to make a long story short, we ended up agreeing to buy that home from him basically for $10,000. He brought $8,000 to the table to help pay it off. I shared that home with the park. They ended up buying it from us for $17,200.
Wow.
So there's a $7,200 margin. Now I promised the seller that any dollar amount that I got over 15,000, I would rebate back to him.
Sure.
And he was just thrilled. So he'll be getting $2,200 minus
Wow.
a $90 transfer fee back in his pocket. He's thrilled to death. The park is thrilled because they're not going to lose the double wide.
Right.
The bank got paid off. We're going to make $5,000 on the deal. And we had $10,000 out of our pocket for about, it's going to be about a 2-week period.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
so that's, sometimes you got to spend 300 to get a home, and sometimes you got to spend 10,000.
Right.
I'd love to do those $300 ones just day in and day out, though.
Sure. Yeah.
What a great margin.
So when you say the park was lowballing him, what do you mean by that? The park
Well,
was.
they were making offers, like 4,000 or 5,000,
Gotcha.
which would, knowing that he owed 18,000, he would have had to come to the table with, $15,000 to dig it out. I don't know where he got his $8,000, but he didn't have it just sitting in his checking account. I think he maybe borrowed some money from a family member.
Sure.
But he was paying a mortgage on his new home. He was paying, between lot rent and his house payment on the double wide, he was paying over $1,000 a month. And throw utilities into that, and just the aggravation of having this second home, you can't keep an eye on it, having to cut the grass, and just, it was just a big hassle. And 6 months went by of $1,000 out of his pocket every month. So there's $6,000 that came out of his pocket while that home sat there empty and vacant. And talk about being a motivated seller. Now it's funny, this guy remembered Dan Layton. Dan Layton had bought his single wide home about 7 years ago. And he only remembered us because I was wearing my Easy Homes shirt that day. And I had the little logo on there, and he goes, I bought, you guys bought my home 7 years ago, and it was Dan Layton, the tall guy, And so when he saw that, he was like, I'm doing the deal with you guys. One way or another, we're going to get this done.
Right.
Our credibility and our history with him really, really factored in big time in his decision.
Sure.
So,
Wow,
those are fun deals.
Again, it just kind of reiterates there's a market out there for the Lonnie type deals we talked about, that other mobile home investing educational courses are portraying and putting forward, and that's fine. There are opportunities there. Those are long game deals. You make money on the long term, assuming everything goes right. But there is a huge market of people that are out there that fit this niche in between those two markets, to go, I have this home and I just want it gone, and I want it gone as quickly as possible. I don't have time to list it. The park doesn't want it, or they're lowballing me. And you guys are able to come in and meet that demand, which is all across, there's 40 million mobile homes across the US that are 40,000
parks and about probably about 25 million homes in play.
So you can, the amount of opportunities of people that are just looking for that person, that company that can come and meet that need, it just continues to escalate. And even in this economy, those people are still out there, and We're still looking, and as things turn around, as things continue to progress, interest rates for home ownership is at an all-time low.
Yeah.
Probably never going to see again in our lifetime. So the
Yeah.
amount of people that are looking to buy homes is going to rapidly increase, I predict, over the next 12 months.
And incidentally, that is the highest reason that people, or the most common reason for people to be selling their mobile home, is that they're buying another home.
Yeah.
It's right at the top of the list. And then, after that, it's, job relocation,
Yeah.
death in the family or something.
Yeah. I mean, as soon as you get approved for that mortgage, you find your dream home. Now you got this other house. Do you want to, do you want to list it and try to show it over the next 6 months and hope to find a buyer? Or do you just want to be done with it tomorrow?
Right.
So, well, great guys. Well, those are some great stories. That's all we have for today. We'll continue to we'll update you all next week. We have some testimonials coming. We have some students that have made some really good deals over the past few weeks. We have one, Brenda, that we'll be talking to. DP, you'll be talking to her. She was somebody who jumped into Easy Homes University, gave it a trial run for a few weeks, said she wanted a refund. We tried to just say, hey, we have no problem giving you the refund, but let's find out why. So we prodded a little bit. She hadn't attended our daily webinars at that point. And we made it a point, like, just at least attend those daily webinars. That's where you guys are going through your whole process with the team every day. She attended a few of those. She got outside of her comfort zone, and she's on to her second deal now. And no sign of slowing down at this point. And those deals that she's making has no money in. And she's making thousands of dollars on the plus side.
Yep. I think we can share some of those next week. On our next,
Yeah. So for those of you who watch this channel, be looking out for those. If you are in the market, if you're really thinking about investing in mobile homes, I assure you there is no other course with as much education, with as many units sold and flipped as these two guys have done, with the amount of money that these guys have made, $6 million and counting, with the daily webinars, and with a CRM involved, so you can get a suggested purchase price on what they would pay for that home. There's just nothing else out there like that. So if you guys are really considering it, it's time to put your money where your mouth is and invest in yourself. I'm not asking you to just invest in Easy Homes University. I'm asking you, if you want to do this, it's time that you invest in yourself. It's going to cost you time, effort, money to learn this market, but the plus side is beautiful, and we really hope to see you guys on the inside. So until next week, appreciate you all, and look forward to talking to you guys later.
all right.
You guys.
See you guys.
Gary.